I'm starting to use this more and more. I'm now only using this. This is my third trip to Libya. I didn't even take any other camera except 2 phones. It was like being ballsy on this one. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go with the phones and nothing else. And it was interesting. I was like totally scared that like I didn't have a backup plan of shooting. And of course, like I didn't get any assignments. No one wanted to hire me to just shoot this. They were happy to publish the images and not pay that much for it because it was like online. Everything's online. You don't have to pay a lot for it. And so I was like, okay, I have to find a way to change that conversation. Cinderella's everywhere. Disney has spread. I love how the Middle East has the kitschiest furniture you'll ever find. So now I'm like thinking, how can I change this model? And what happened was a magazine hired me to shoot the Republican and Democratic conventions during the elections this year. But they weren't hiring me just to shoot, they were hiring me to build their feed. So this is a magazine that didn't have followers on Instagram. They had about 4,000 followers. And they didn't have a big Tumblr account. And so now I'm like, oh, so they're not paying me for my images, but they're paying me to help build their feed. And this is sort of a business model that will probably only exist for another 2 or 3 years. But so what I did was after 2 weeks of shooting, they had 26,000 followers. And so I'm adding to their base, where I'm adding my circulation to them. And so now we're taking it beyond journalism, where it's not about just being paid to make the images, it's about being paid to like distribute the images online in a way that most traditional journalist outlets don't have. And then Sandy happened, which I get a call from Time Magazine. They're like, Ben, it's going to be a really bad storm. And we want you to be outside in it the whole time with your phone and nothing else and a poncho, which didn't really help because, yeah, I was in like water up to my chest. And actually, there was like a ton of brown foam on the waves from like, we have a canal called the Gowanus, which is like the most polluted stretch of canal in America. And so there's like this brown foam on everything. It's like we're going to, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to grow a 3rd ball in about 10 years. But, so I made this image as I'm jumping into the water. And like the other photographers that I was with were like, had like Ziploc plastic bags over their cameras. They're like, oh, we got to keep it salt water. It's horrible. Got to keep the camera safe. And I'm like, it's my phone. Just get a new one from, AT&T when I'm done.
Why have you used your iPhone that much lately instead of the 35mm?
I think it's just, first of all, it's just another tool, but I think it's a tool that helps me remain a little bit more anonymous, helps me get occasionally intimate with the subjects a little better. And I think more than anything, it's a tool that allows me to transmit, caption, images all within one device. I don't have to take it to my computer. I don't have to sit down in a cafe or whatever, or go back to my hotel when I'm in the field. I can literally take the image, edit it, caption it, and transmit it straight from one device. So it makes the process of communication much more efficient, the workflow. And I think that's what's really important about it.
What have your colleagues said about it when you started with this?
I think initially there was a lot of resistance to it, and now more and more people are accepting of it or embracing of it because they realize its potential. Photojournalism at the end of the day is about communication, it's about telling a story, and the best way to do that is use whatever tools you have at your disposal to get the story out. And this happens to be right now the most efficient tool.